Hello everybody and welcome to Let's Play Galactic Civilizations 3 with me, Get Daved. Thank you for joining me. Let's just begin the game right off, shall we? I've been following this for a while, and it's finally out after a prolonged time in beta. I bought the gold edition as soon as the game was announced. Alright, let's talk about the different races very quickly. Humans are portrayed a little bit differently than in many games. They have, like, sort of some balanced all-around stuff, and no penalties is an interesting thing. The super unique thing about most races comes down to abilities. The race traits are usually just slight bonuses that technology can simulate and so on. But anyway, we've got some light military bonuses, some light economic bonuses. Humanity's pretty good. I would say the one thing you gotta watch out for is first free improvement. Do pick it carefully. Drengen are here to take over the galaxy. That's their thing. They're evil. The Altarian Resistance is sort of the scientist group. And, I don't know, they play friendly, in theory. In previous Galciv games, they were basically humans as well. Just more scientifically oriented. We've got an economic race with bad population growth. There you go. Money, money, money. The Kryn Syndicate. Keep your eye on them. I guess they just go at it like jackrabbits on the colony ship when they're in transit. Yeah, they're just keep your eye on them. The Yor are powerful. They have like a whole bunch of really great traits, and they're robots. So you don't need to give them food, or food isn't related to population growth the same way, or population ceiling the same way. We've got our friends the Iconian Refuge. They've been kicked off their homeworld by... I thought it was a synthetic race, but these are not all of the races they've had in previous games. So, I don't know, maybe they turned it around. They're not the... They're super easy to take over. They're very passive and good and kind people. And the Thowns. Keep your eye on them. We're gonna go custom. And yeah, we'll base it on humanity, I think. That's nice and boring. Customize the picture. How delightful. I included all sorts of wonderful things. Can't say I'm that into it though. We'll just go with generic people. Ooh, the new race names. The Davites. Short name. The Davites. Ship call sign. LS. That's 100 get Dave points if you catch that reference. Homeworld name, Homeworld. Oh, we're coming from, we'll call it Terra just to curveball it. Simple description. Whoops. I gotta remember how to type here. I'm not trying to talk big or anything like that. It's just gonna happen. I can own it or I can deny it. Alright, I generally like to go with production-based approaches to things. We can go a little bit further for additional points by putting us into the green zone, or you can take penalties. It's a nice little, basically, strongly agree, strongly disagree type scale. Having borders is pretty useful. Having small borders is also useful. It makes you less of a nuisance. Having content people is kind of helpful in this game, and money is also very helpful. There's also a very strong relationship between contentment and money in Galactic games. And so we can increase the amount of firepower our ships can take. Or the number of systems we can have on them, and that could be very helpful. I'm not a huge fan of food in general because it can create other problems later on. Trade requires other people. Yeah. Having faster ships is super helpful, granted that. Tier 1 Extreme Worlds. Oh man, free invasions? That could be really handy. So we've seen a bunch of these. Gain an ideology point. We can talk about those a little bit later on. This is a default human ability, and that could have its value as well. Starfaring's kind of tempting. I like that. I take it back. Okay, I like the idea of patriotic, because at some point I'm going to want a large empire. Yeah, we've got a nice attacking race. Just delightful. I often like Tron-esque color schemes where they're dark and offset with gold. Boy, this is quite in-depth. They added quite a bit. That's pretty fancy. That is just painful to the eyes. Alright, I think I like that obsidian. We'll go with it. Let's check out a couple material options as well. I like myself a good hexagon grid. That other one was a tad on the dark side. Let's leave it at that for now. Alright. And so all of the different races have their own tech trees in this game. Well, in some versions of the game. In Galactic 3, later expansion packs of Galactic 2, and so on. Yep. I'd say expansion first. Oh, logistics is too important. That's the size of your fleet. I am generally pragmatic. Opportunistic. I am very diplomatic in a way. I'm not a very ideological guy in real life. Yeah, we'll start there. And as far as tech trees are concerned, I think we'll start... military and research. You know what? Let's start with the base tech tree, and we'll learn a lot about it. Alright, in we go with the Davites, everybody. Boy, skip ahead to that part. Loose clusters is basically extremely evenly placed stars, and in these games you are choosing to place stars with this setting. The planets will be figured out in other sections. Yeah, we'll go with loose clusters. It's kind of the least random. With tight clusters you can be, well, you can be marooned very easily. I'm going to keep everything else on the default settings, I think. We'll keep all the victory conditions on, although we're probably going to attack everyone. We'll play on normal. Oh. We'll have Yeah, we'll have some minor races in there as well. They're always a good leapfrog. And everyone but the Terrans. Let's go, shall we? Enough of that, am I right? So the game really got started at the 10-minute mark. Yay! Large-nosed? My nose is very average-sized, thank you very much. So that's basically Mars right there. We've got a resource we can harvest right away. Unlike other versions of the game, if you're familiar only with Galactic Civilizations 2, your surveying ship is kind of well armed to start off. I'm just going to put this guy on automated exploration, which is an okay idea. You get better performance if you know, go manual, but it's a start. Actually going to open up with a constructor, which will allow us to build a starbase, which will be useful for mining resources and the like. Colony ship will probably end up purchasing. Helios ore. +2 to military improvement. Okay. That's pretty neat. And attract tourists. Not really compatible with our ideology. Manufacturing it is. So we'll drop one there, and buildings are more effective if they're clustered together based on, you know, similarity and so on. We're going to want some research labs as well. Any factories will probably be clustered over there. Yeah. We'll start with that. The colony ship I don't really want to explore with, but I'm not super impressed with our starting view. And research. Oh, hello! Alright, so we can take a look at our base tech tree, which I'm kind of interested in. It's got 4 major groups. You can read all about them. These are the 2 economic-focused ones, self-evident, and this is usually related to diplomacy, but there's some buildings like your Xeno Entertainment and so on. You can only look at this view, though. I think we'll open up with Xeno industrialization. And we'll go from there. And the colony ship can just wait for now. Welcome to our first anomaly, everybody. It's a ship graveyard, so we could actually get into a fight right now. Alright, what secret of the universe have we discovered? Oh, wow. Well, our survey ship is now super fast permanently, I hope. Exciting. Alright, so we just automatically appeared right next door. Yay, space junk. Also, one of these systems is called the Legend system, and I did name that because I purchased the gold version of the game. So that's just truly an exciting detail. Almost as exciting as that new world we found. So if we build a mining constructor nearby, we can get something for that Durantium. I'm getting a little antsy not having my colony ship in use already. I kind of like to get to it rather quickly. I'm contemplating building another scout. We need to find something. And better than a class 5. It's not that expensive, we'll go for it, and I neglected an important characteristic of Galactic Civilizations games, which is you start with a ton of money and it's worth spending it fairly quickly. So we've already actually made a fairly significant mistake. Well, there's probably several that I also don't know about, but I'm okay at this series, so. Money! I love that stuff. Now we're talking. Not that we can have it. Alright, well, still, that's promising. Maybe there will be better planets in that direction. I'm going to bank heavily on that. You can also see the limits of what our colony ship is going to be able to visit. This seems like bad news. This is not the best start I've ever had. Still, we're only on normal. I'm hopeful that we can turn it around. This is quite uncanny. Okay. Embor. That's a pretty powerful Pokemon. Class 10, it's enough. We gotta get there on the double. I'm probably gonna notice one even better right now, but I'm at the point where I'll probably just rush the next colony ship if it's really needed. Alright. So, as you progress through the tech tree, you get opportunities for all these delightful specializations. You only get one, so pick carefully. And you can also just switch branches if you want to procrastinate, but I'm probably going to go with manufacturing plus 10%. Reducing the cost can kind of have the same effect. Why wouldn't I just increase my manufacturing by 10%? Well, I think I'll go for it. Let's take a look at the Govern tab real quick before we close it out. So you can adjust the ratio of what you're devoting to cold hard cash, production, and research. Right now we're at a balanced approach. And then within production you can divert production from a planet to a shipyard. And this determines what the ratio is. We call one end social production, the other military. Planets can have that micromanaged as well, but not a fan of micromanaging, so you won't see a ton of that in this series. Let's just focus on buying this research laboratory as well, because I get the feeling we're not going to need to buy a ton of colony ships. Oh no, pirates. And thulium. One of those is good news. As soon as we colonize the planet, we'll probably get an opportunity to do some ideology development. But first things first, we're going to be having combat right away. This is a pirate base. Exciting. So one other twist is generic star bases, right after you construct them, have no real defenses. Or pardon me, in the other ones they had no real defenses. In this one, they're terribly dangerous. Shipyards as well, because those are just a type of starbase in this one. Yeah, let's watch it. We have no influence over what happens, but ships do have things like speed values and the like. We start with a ship more advanced than we're able to build for quite some time. Do you really want to fight him that close? We want to take this guy out of commission before he gets too many friends. So we've destroyed a component on it? I don't know. I know I want the hit point thing to go down on them. Okay, we came out of that pretty clean. We'll be doing a lot of quick battles. Well, I wonder if the pirates... No, they just have the shipyard. Okay, so you can see there's these resources like Durantium, pardon me. Durantium. Prometheon is a disappointing prequel. As you build mining star bases nearby them, and by nearby I mean kind of within this range. A little hexagon there is about how much space you have to work with. Anything within there you get. So that's nice. And the resources give you a variety of bonuses. In particular, you can usually make some sort of super powerful ship, or you can barter the resource away for 50 turns, which is also nice. Space junk and more space junk. Yeah, I'll go for that one first. Just space junk everywhere. And as soon as this turn computes... Welcome to Embor 5. We're going to name this one... We're just going to call it Embor, I think, in this case, because we won't be colonizing the rest of those dead planets. The galaxy is filled with worlds for the taking. That's exactly how I see it. Okay. So usually when you land on a planet, this is what you get. Little dilemma. It's been inhabited before. Excitement. This is kind of the plot to a Transformers movie. And Superman. Interesting. Free precursor ship if I do the wrong thing. Much of the planet is flooded. Okay, so that's actually kind of a short-sighted thing. Shocking. Well, this will be a nice research colony, I guess. And welcome. It came with hypersilicates. And paradise. Boy. That's just great. Okay, right by our colony we get a nice little bonus, so we'll make that the factory. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Bonus to adjacent improvements, plus 1 level to manufacturing. Perfect. And I'll even buy it, actually. Over yonder we're going to want the research, because this is going to be primarily a research colony. To leverage its bonuses best, and... what to do with that? Yeah, we have to build a research lab on there, unfortunately. Just because there's too much of an adjacency bonus opportunity there. Let them start at that for now. And we've got to get some pretty... Oh, we've got an ideology decision to make, actually. For those of you who play normal Civilization, the Sid Meier kind, not the Galactic kind, this will be kind of familiar. So we have points in Pragmatic. You don't have to exclusively live in there. You can do good and evil things, or evil and pragmatic. Strictly hypothetically, of course. So, as you gain ideology points, based on the decisions you make, you get these things. So, 3 constructors would be super nice early on. The Preparedness Center you can build, and it lets you get ideology points, which is kind of cool. This would be pretty nice for locking down a bunch of the resources on the map. No use for trading right now. Yeah, okay, so it's between these two. I think I'm going to go for Builder 1 to start off. And Constructor time, but we'll worry about that in the next episode. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you then, everybody.